Hello everyone, it's Charlie from Altcoin Mentors, and today I'm going to be telling you about Republic Protocol and why I think that it's one of the most promising crypto projects in the space right now. Definitely in my top 5. Make sure you watch until the very end where I go into my price prediction and reasoning behind it. Imagine this. You're a Bitcoin whale and you want to acquire $1 million worth of your favorite cryptocurrency. But you can't just market buy that in your favorite exchange, because you would destroy the order book and cause a huge price spike. This is exactly what you want to be avoiding. You could use one of many algorithms to spread this across many exchanges and over time, but it's not a perfect solution and not everyone knows exactly how to do this. So the solution that many people use is OTC trading or over-the-counter trading. These are places like Cumberland or Genesis who will, on your behalf, acquire a large amount of cryptocurrency for you without affecting the market. Now, there are a few different problems with these, mainly the counterparty risk, the high fees, and the unavailability of many smaller cryptocurrencies particularly. The fees will range sometimes in the 1 to 5% range. And if you compare this to Binance's 0.05 or GDAX's 0.15, these are quite ludicrous at times. Now, there is a second solution to this, and that is to use what's called a dark pool, or hidden order book. This is offered by the exchanges Bitfinex and Kraken, and essentially you just place a limit order, but you can't actually see anyone else's orders. If it gets filled, you know it got filled, but other than that, you have no other information about it. Now, there are a few different problems with using the dark pools as they exist right now. One of the main ones is that they're drawing from the same pool of liquidity as the rest of the public order book on those exchanges. This means that theoretically, and in practice, someone could find out what orders exactly were in the dark pool. While it is a little bit more obscured, it's still very possible. The second problem is that there's still counterparty risk. Being centralized, you still have significant risk of your crypto being lost on the exchange if it gets hacked. You also have somewhat higher fees, around 0.5 to 1%. And perhaps the most important problem is that you can still be front run. So this means that the exchange would be able to look inside of those dark pool orders and fill their own orders because they can anticipate how your order will impact the market. Now, front running in a traditional financial exchange like the New York Stock Exchange is highly illegal. But in crypto land, it's very possible that this is actively going on right now. There are lots of reports of wash trading on Bitfinex as well as their connection to the controversial Tether, so it would not be surprising at all, to me at least, if they were using their dark pool orders for front running. So as you can see, a centralized dark pool is not really an optimal solution if you wanted to place a very large order. So then what would be an optimal solution? I think that a decentralized dark pool is really the answer here, and Republic Protocol is the first of these decentralized dark pool protocols. The Republic Protocol white paper is very well written, it's very short and dense, and I highly recommend that you read it, especially if you're considering investing in the Republic Protocol token. I'm going to do my best here to explain exactly what's going on, but I'm not going to be able to capture all of it, especially if you want a more technical view of it. The way they intend it to work is that if you are someone who wants to make a secret order, you would first acquire the REN token, Republic Protocol token, and stake it and also pay the network fee for that order in the REN token. Now, the reason for having each trader stake REN is so that they can't actually spam the order book to try and figure out what everyone else's orders are. When a trader places an order in the Republic Protocol dark pool, that order is fragmented into multiple segments and sent out into the network. Now, the reason for the fragmenting is so that each individual node will not be able to actually view that order unless it colludes with the majority of all of the other nodes. Each node is going to stake REN, and if they collude, that REN is lost. This incentivizes all of the nodes to play fairly. In addition, they have an Ethereum smart contract called the registrar, which organizes the topology of the nodes themselves in such a way that colluding is unreasonably difficult for any one order. Now, with order matching, each node is going to cooperate with all of the other nodes to try to find other orders that match the fragments of the orders that they have. Now, when a match is found, every single one of the nodes that cooperated in this process receives a portion of that fee the trader paid for the order. Once an order is matched, an Ethereum smart contract called the judge will make sure, using a zero-knowledge proof, that in fact these orders do match. After a match is verified, then an atomic swap will be started between the two tokens, and each trader will receive their order. Now that you have a better sense of what exactly the Republic protocol is trying to solve and how it intends to solve it, let's go over some pros and cons that I see in investing in this. The first pro for Republic protocol is that up to 1/3 of all trading in the US equities market is done in dark pools. Now, in the cryptocurrency space, where we've seen that the existing implementation of dark pools are flawed, the liquidity is minimal. But especially in a field of cryptocurrency where privacy is one of the major tenets, I can easily see dark pool activity being a huge segment of the total liquidity in the market. Because Republic protocol is decentralized, there's no counterparty risk. Your cryptos are stored securely in your hardware wallet, ledger, or Trezor until the very moment that your order is matched and the tokens are swapped. Two other cool features of the Republic protocol is that both traders don't need to be connected to the network at the same time in order for their orders to complete. This is a problem in the traditional financial space, where if there's one order but the trader is not online and it matches, that trade would not be completed. And the second cool feature is that Republic protocol can match loops of orders. So say someone wanted to exchange Bitcoin for Ether, someone Ether for an ERC20 token, and then someone else an ERC20 token for Bitcoin, or some other more complicated amalgamation of this type of situation. This can be handled by the Republic protocol and everyone would receive the correct amount at the correct prices, completely hidden from public liquidity. One of the main things I'm looking for when I'm investing in a cryptocurrency project is the team behind it, along with the advisors. And in the case of Republic protocol, they have a very strong team and a very strong team of advisors as well. No one particularly stands out as being amazing, but I don't think that's particularly needed in every single project. Another big thing that I look for is the timing of a particular blockchain project. And in this case, I think that Republic protocol is suited perfectly for the market climate that we are in right now. The public has gained significant interest in this, but institutional investors are mainly still on the sidelines. And this type of hidden liquidity is going to be extremely important for the institutional clients who are going to come into the market in the next few years. Republic protocol is positioned extremely well to take advantage of this. And finally, I'll wrap up my pros section with the price and the exchanges that it's on right now. It is only on Ether Delta and IDEX, the decentralized exchanges. And the price is right at the same as ICO, 5.7 cents. At this price, I think it is an absolute bargain, and when you see my price prediction, I'm sure you'll agree. Now, let's move on to the risks that I see in investing in this project. The first is that they're only starting with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ERC20 tokens. Eventually, they do plan on moving into other blockchain tokens, but it is something to consider when investing. The upside to this is that there's still $250 billion plus of monthly volume in these alone. The majority of the tokens that you see out there are ERC20. The second risk that I see to this project is that there's somewhat of a high barrier to entry for gaining mass adoption. By this, I mean that as a trader, you would need to acquire your REN tokens, stake them, and then place an order, paying that fee in REN as well. Now, this isn't necessarily a huge issue, at least from my point of view, because the people who are likely to be using the dark pool are those users who have experience with cryptocurrencies in the past. And finally, the last risk that I see, and this is a risk you'll see in most blockchain products, is that it's very early still. The testnet doesn't really come until Q2 of 2018, but I still think that This is a very solid team, and according to their GitHub, they're making very good progress. It's very active, there's multiple developers, and they're on track to hit all of their milestones going into that testnet release. To sum it all up, I am very bullish on the future of the Republic protocol and the REN token. Unlike many other blockchain projects, it solves a real problem, is well suited to being decentralized, and there's a real need for having its own token. The team is making very good progress so far, and their testnet release is when I think that the market will be in a much better sentiment to accept a project like this and for the token itself to gain value. Finally, I'm going to move on to my price prediction for the Republic Protocol token. Right now, there's $250 billion monthly volume in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the ERC20 tokens. If we multiply this by 12 to get the yearly volume for these, we get $3 trillion per year. Now, I expect this number to grow significantly in the next 5 years. Let's say that it goes up to $20 trillion per year. While this might seem like a very large increase, if you look historically, this is actually not out of the ordinary at all. If Republic Protocol can take 10% of that volume, that leads us to $2 trillion of volume in 1 year on the Republic Protocol dark pool. Now, this might also seem like it's a very liberal estimate, but it is not unheard of for one exchange to be taking 10% of the total volume. And considering that this is a dark pool, a large amount of institutional investors and the so-called whales are going to be placing very large order sizes in this dark pool. Now, if the REN token will capture 0.5% in fees, that gives an asset base of $10 billion. And from this, we can get the market cap by dividing that $10 billion by an expected velocity. Now, this is a little bit more up in the air, but I think that considering how the REN token is staked by both traders and the participants in the network, we can use Bitcoin's velocity of 6 to get a reliable estimate. So that gives us a total market cap, estimated of course, of $1.66 billion. Now divide that by the amount of tokens itself, and that is $1.6 per REN token. The current price is 5.7 cents. You can see that this is an extremely low price for what I expect it to be in the future. And even if you use the most conservative estimates to create the lowest token price, you still get something in the range of 50 cents to 70 cents. Still at least a 10x, a very, very solid return for your investment, even in crypto land. And finally, to close out this video, I do have to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you about an exciting project that I myself am investing in. If you liked this video, please hit the like button below, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to get more of our content in the future. The best place to follow us is going to be in our Telegram channel, t.me/altcoinmentors, or on Twitter at altcoin_mentors. You can also follow me personally at IamCharlieU. And I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video. We're going to be putting out so much more content in the future, and we can't wait to share it all with you. Again, we thank you for watching.